Hello. That was not awkward at all. So, hello. My name is Kris Kosyk, and I worked in IT for around 20 years. I entered the industry, I worked in delivery, then I transitioned to consulting. I was head of consulting. Later, I was chief of staff to a CEO during a major reorganization. And later, I was vice president of innovation during the digital transformation age. I'm not sharing that to brag with you, but to explain that I have a very unique perspective into understanding and actually living through the fact that identifying a winning strategy is very different from executing a strategy for the win. And that is basically my focus for my talk today, is to talk about the execution. Because right now we are at the end of the 2025, and I'm sure a lot of you were or will be part of the conversation of the AI strategies for 2026. But how do we execute that? So I had this, as I thought, very smart idea to start with giving you the analogy of Flintstones and Jetsons. But 2 days ago, after I've submitted my presentation, I kind of figured out that I'm not sure if Gen Z even know who these people are. So just to amuse me by the raise of hands, can you let me know who knows who Jetsons? Oh, we're okay. Okay, we're okay. So for those of you who have no idea what it is that I'm talking about, Flintstones and Jetsons were two TV cartoon series that peaked its popularity around 80s and 90s when I was a kid. And they basically are a sitcom format when we follow the day-to-day life of a family in a society. In case of the Flintstones, this is a Stone Age. In case of the Jetsons, that's a distant future where we finally have the flying cars and robot nannies. So internet being internet has this amazing theory that I want to share with you today. Historically, we all believed that Flintstones and Jetsons are human families living in different times. The theory says, or at least suggests, that they are two families living at the same time, but in different societies after the technological apocalypse happened on Earth. So after the technological apocalypse happened, Jetsons were the fortunate ones to go above the sky, or at least above the ground, and live with all the modern technology available. While Flintstones were the unfortunate humans staying on Earth, where everything is broken. That basically makes sense if you start watching Flintstones and understanding why do they have cars but no engines, so they use their feet to drive? Why is it that they're watching TV made out of stone when there's nothing actually there, so they have to force animals make the storytelling? It is because they know of the technology, but they don't know how it works or how to use that. And my brilliant idea was that I think companies, after the AI disruption is done with them, are going to end up either as Jetsons or the Flintstones. Some will monetize the transformation and get all the benefits that we're not even sure of what will be, and basically will benefit from the AI similarly how Jeff Bezos built his company after the internet boom and how it transformed the retail. While the rest of the organizations, unfortunately, will become Flintstones with everything broken. Now, the way that human psychology works, I'm sure that everyone in here thinks they will be among the Jetsons. Well, just because you know what the AI is and you were at the conference and you already have the strategy. But it's not that simple, because in order to execute a strategy on a company level, you need everyone involved. So everyone needs to know the things you know, believe it in that way, and work in unison. And basically, Peter Drucker famously said the same thing in the 1950s, which is true till this day. So he said that culture eats strategy for breakfast, ability of the organization to change for lunch, and innovation for dinner. And throughout the corporate history, unfortunately, that was proven to be true over and over again. Infamously, in 2007, BlackBerry owned 50% of the smartphone market. At the same year, iPhone was released. And in 5 years, again, infamously, BlackBerry lost its core business for good. Was it that BlackBerry didn't know that the touchscreen technology was available? No, they did. But the problem was that their culture, incentives that were put in place, and the belief system of the management kind of predicted how they ended up. So the culture is very important every time when we talk about company-wide initiatives, especially as transformational as AI promises to be. Over and over again during the last 2 days, you've heard many speakers saying that it will touch everything, everyone needs to be involved. And that is a culture. It's not just the R&D department, it's not just the innovation, it's not just leadership. It's actually everyone. Because again, we're not sure what it is. We're not sure how it's going to manifest in each specific domain, in each specific business, in each specific company. So how can we make sure that culture will not eat our AI strategy for breakfast? Can we make sure that this is not working because I have nothing to breathe with? No? Thank you, thank you. I feel like a rock star, but I don't think it should be happening. Thank you. So with AI strategy, the nature of the AI strategy is definitely innovation, which means that every individual in the organization that will be tasked to figure out how it is that we do certain things with AI will be following a process fit for the innovation. So you kind of hypothesize what it is that you want to do with AI, you test it out with a series of experiments, you document the results, and you learn from them, kind of feeding the decision cycle again, what it is that we do next, with the hypotheses that we do, and how do you evaluate whether it works well or not. Now, that is true every time you execute the strategy. But when you look at the strategy from the company perspective, especially from the top management or even the leaders tasked with the AI strategy, my personal belief is they need to use the change management cycle. Because historically, we all know that initiatives, or at least the strategy, goes hand in hand with change management. Because strategy is always something new, something disruptive, something that we will be doing in a new way. And change management is tasked to make sure that people will be on board with that. People don't like change. Nobody likes change. Because we like comfort zone. Why? Because it is comfortable. So it is very hard just to decide that you want, you like to change, unless you're in R&D team. The rest of their organization usually looks at the initiatives hoping they will go away. Like, we don't know if it's gonna stick, or maybe someone else is gonna do it. We just wanna do what we want. So we usually work with emotions when we talk about the culture. People feel lost. They are angry. They don't wanna change. They don't wanna hear about it. They just want it to go away. So the change management and the focus when you look at the change management and making sure that the initiative will stick, you work with human emotions to make sure that they go through the cycle from loss to doubt to discomfort. And the thing that we look for is curiosity, discovery. Okay, what it is that you want me to do? This is the feeling that we look for. That is the success criteria that will ensure, or at least give you a good chance for the initiative to stick. Now, how do we do that? Everyone who's ever been tasked with large-scale initiatives will let you know how hard it is and how ungrateful it is. Everybody in the organization hates you. They want you to go away. They want you to do your thing and just come back when it's done. But unfortunately, you need everyone to be on board in order for that to be successful. And from my background, I would like to share with you 3 things that I think will help you the most. Now, to start with is communication. And of course, it is kind of obvious. You need to share information of what it is that people need to do, how it is that we're going to be changing, and again, how it is that their job is going to be different. Now, the problem with communication is that we all know how to talk, we all know how to write. So the illusion that the communication happened is very, very common in the organizations. And I think it is because people are putting, they're not setting their goal right. So usually people think that the goal of communication is sharing knowledge. So you have an information, you have a goal to share it, so you either write an email, you do the presentation, you do the call, information is shared, done. No. The reason why I keep showing you this chart is because it really shows that at the beginning of the communication cycle, when you just start introducing the initiative, you're in the red zone. People don't want to hear you. They don't want to know about it. Again, they hope it's going to go away. Not everybody, but we're talking about the risks. So you keep communicating till they go from that discomfort to discovery. And that is the consistency. The goal of the communication when we talk about changing culture for a specific initiative is continue the clear communication until we get to the discovery stage, until people say, okay, what is it? So the risk is usually people in the organization are afraid to over-communicate, meaning they're going to get sick of it. But that is the goal. They need to be sick of it. You use all the channels. You use all the information. You share the information over and over and over again until they get it. Okay, this is for real. Because again, right now, everyone's sitting here and spending 2 fabulous days on the conference when everyone was talking AI. We think that everyone is on board. But imagine, like, I don't know, you come from companies from 100 people to thousands of people. All those people weren't on the conference. Maybe they even like, conspiracy theorists. So they hope it's going to go away. And that all of those people need to become Jetsons. And it is that we need to help them transition, and information is part of that. Now, the second part is training. Again, obviously, right? We have this new thing, so we need to train people how it is that they're going to be doing it. But training, most of the times in the companies, is done wrong. And you know it. When was the last time you've been through a corporate training that you loved? It was kind of okay, right? You didn't pay for it, wasted 2 hours. It was kind of okay, right? And the thing is, training is so powerful when done right. To prove my point, I don't know if you've ever seen the show, TV series called The Bear. Awesome, really, really recommend it. It is a TV show that follows our protagonist, Chef Carmy, who is a Michelin star chef, who gets a sandwich shop in Chicago inherited from his deceased brother. And so the premise of the show is first season, he works in this sandwich shop trying to get it around. And in second season, he decides that sandwich shop is good enough and the team is good enough because they've built some kind of culture inside that he wants to get them to become a Michelin-starred restaurant. So the second season is a case study of the culture change. Everybody hates him. Nobody gets what it is that he wants. They kind of question him, why do you want to change it? We finally started getting the revenue. But he has this dream, and he knows what he's doing. The problem is, everyone that he works with only have seen the sandwich shop. So what he does is absolute amazing case study on change management within the organization. He sends everyone into training. But not just any random training or the training that he asked his HR team to find. No. He sends them to training he himself went through. So he knows it's good. He knows what they're going to be trained on, and he knows that by the end of the training, they will speak the same language. An amazing case study is Richie, his cousin who basically hates everyone. And he goes to training in the Michelin star restaurant. And by the end of the training, he goes back to Carmi and he says, I'm sorry, now I get it. This moment, when you in your organization tell to your management, okay, now I get it, only can happen through exposure. And that exposure only can be given through a proper training that you yourself selected for your team. So every time when a training is planned within the initiative, you already have the budget. Spend that money wisely. Do the due diligence yourself. Don't outsource it. It's not that those people are not competent. They don't know what it is that you're building. So you need to figure that out. You go to the trainings. You select the trainer. You select the program. You make sure you love it. And then you bring it to your team. So everyone is on the same page. Then you will see that the culture takes care of itself. And the third one is ownership. Now, this satirical image I have from the times when I was VP of Innovation during the digital transformation era, the last thing that told us that everyone's going to be out of business. So I'm not saying AI is going to be the same, but I think that corporate patterns will be very similar. I'm sure a lot of the companies already have VP of AI, AI directors, something. I'm not saying it is a bad thing, but I'm saying that a lot of times what I've seen in the organization, what happens when you have that kind of structure in your organization is that you're sending a signal to everyone, unless you do differently. So the signal is everything that is going to be done is only for those people. The rest of you, you need to wait, and then they will tell you what the innovation is. Now, the reason why it is a bad idea is because you've spent time communicating and persuading people that the new AI strategy is a good idea. Later, you train them how they need to experiment or address or think differently. And at the point when they want to try it out, you say, no. We have those select few, they will take care of it. You just wait. Imagine what happens. People hate it. They hate it. Because ultimately, people love to create. And when they're pumped up and they wait for a new thing to happen, they really want to try it out. So every time when if your AI strategy is going to be corporate-wide, make sure that people will have their sandboxes to try it with, that they will have mini budgets to try it with, that their experimentation is not going to be at fault during the performance evaluation, because everything is at play. You can't just say, we have a strategy, let's run with it. No, you have to live it. And the reason why it is true, many organizations struggle with strategy execution, not because they don't know how to execute, is because they build those silos, and then what happens is that strategy is executed in one part of the organization, while the rest of the organization lives as it is. And strategy cannot function without the core business. The core business needs to live through the strategy. So my point is, it's not that it is not smart to hire a VP of AI or anything, but that person and that team should work with the rest of the organization, not be the select few. So the thing is, change management is very, very hard to execute. And those three things don't mean that AI strategy is going to work, because you actually have to do the strategy itself. This is just bonus. So the point is, Strategy is hard. You figure out how you do it. You do those things so all the Flintstones in your organization will not drag you down, but you yourself, with those things, help every Flintstone to transition into the Jetson. And that is when you will be living above the ground and using all the new technology. Thank you.